Oh shit.
Hi everyone, my name is Salia, and in today's video I wanted to talk about two books that I have loved lately and just a series that is very close to my heart, as well as try these new Cheerios because everyone's doing fall things and I saw this at Longo's and I knew it was going to taste disgusting, but I wanted to try it anyways and film my reaction for my friends. So as I prepare, I will tell you about these two wonderful books. So last year I read, which one did I read? Darius the Great is Not Okay, and I absolutely loved it. It's the story of a boy who is like navigating mental health and his sexuality while also being half Persian and just kind of dealing with the two cultures because he lives in America and etc. Anyways, I found out the second book is coming out and I'm super excited, and this video I more so want to talk about the second book because that's the newer one. If you haven't read the first one, I do recommend you read that one first. So right off the bat, it smells very, I'd say, artificial. It smells more like the pumpkin spice donuts, if you've had those at Tim Hortons, like the Timbits, than it does anything else. It doesn't really smell like Cheerios, but...
Oh shit. Some decoration.
So, Darius the Great deserves better. In this book, we further explore the issues that Darius faces on a day-to-day basis. It's very slice of lifey, but still has a story arc. The parts that I really enjoy about it is, number one, just the representation. I can't not say that that's my favorite part of it because I really think that is my favorite part, the fact that it's like a Persian family and that they're the closest thing I've ever seen in YA literature, let alone, well, I haven't read all of literature, but just anything that I've ever seen in media that I've consumed that is close to my experience of the world. There's so many things that I have experienced in my life that I had no way to express or that I never thought would be something I could share with the world. Adib basically has put that into words and has taken so many of my childhood experiences and put them on paper and in a way kind of immortalized them, and now I have a way to share that, and that is just something that's so foreign to me because it's not a part of me that I ever thought I could share with my friends who aren't Persian. So it's just so cool that there's now this book series that basically shows that, and if somebody read these, I think they would have a lot of insight into Persian kid in a North American world. I also think that's the other thing, is that it's so uniquely on that spectrum of if you have grown up in Iran and then came here versus if you grew up in North America and just had Persian parents. Because he's mixed, I feel like he personally and his family leans more towards the North American side. But that in particular, that little niche of the Persian kids who are born in North America but fall more on the North American side, that's so hard to find. Even growing up, I didn't have that many friends who fell into that boat. It's just something I didn't even know I needed in my life, and now that I have it, I can't imagine not having it. And that is that. I'll stop talking about the representation. The second reason that you might want to give these books a try is that they heavily feature sports in the novels, and I know that some people really like that as a thing in general. Soccer specifically is the one featured in both of these books, and there are plenty of scenes of, at least in the second one, more of a team, and in the first one just scenes of them playing. But on top of just a lot of sports scenes, which were fun, it also in the second book tries to tackle toxic masculinity in the sports field as well, and we're here for that, and I really loved it. And what else do I have? So the third thing that I'm commending this book on doing is that Darius has a very unique voice in these books, and one that I really appreciate and admire. I think that sounds kind of weird, saying that I admire something about a literary character, but the truth is that Darius in a lot of ways does stuff that I can't do, in the sense that he's so emotionally open and vulnerable, and his communication skills are really top-notch for a teenager, because I am pretty much double his age and I still can't express myself the way he does in a lot of scenes in this book. And so I personally really appreciated that, and I've heard a lot of people say that like the miscommunication trope is annoying or that they hate it. If you fall in that boat, like there's very little miscommunication in these books. I think it is a testament to the book and to the writer, Eddie Coram, that like I enjoy Darius's voice, even though Darius and I have very little in common in terms of like how we approach life. Darius is so sensitive and like goes through the world in this very delicate manner, and if it weren't Darius, like if it were any other character, I would probably not like them, or I'd probably not want to read from their point of view. But like Darius is so likable despite that, and we're so different like in terms of mentality, and yet when I read it I'm still so interested to see what Darius has to say. And again, it sounds so weird that I'm saying that about a literary character, but it's true, and I think it just goes to show how good the writing is. My fourth reason is all the different issues that this book just tries to tackle, and it does all of them sensitively, and it just touches on so many important topics. It's not just, like I talked a little bit about toxic masculinity, but honestly there is so much to unpack in these books, from racism and microaggressions to body image issues and just to mental health in general, and to taking care of each other, and like homophobia and stigma, and just there's just so much in these books, and it never feels like, everything feels natural. It feels like real life. It's done so seamlessly. And if you are a fan of books that tackle these more important topics, that sounds judgmental, but if you are a fan of books that tackle heavy topics on top of just having a story, it has a lot of good messages, especially for the younger generation, but even for older people who just want to be seen because YA kind of sucked when we were younger, I would highly recommend. And then my final reason for wanting to pick up this book is that given the circumstances in the world with, you know, the pandemic, and I have not been watching or following, but I assume the presidential elections are also scaring people right now. This book is just so pure, and there are so many moments between Darius and his friends and Darius and his family that are just so heartwarming, and I promise you that if you pick up these books and, you know, read them with some like cozy pumpkins or whatever, you will totally get into that fall vibe. And yeah, these books are just so pure, and that's all I can say. And if you read them, it will put a smile on your face, it will make your heart feel warm, it will give you all the good fuzzy feelings. Darius is just such an innocent character, and everything that he does, his whole life, and all the struggles that he's going for, they're all just so pure, and I am positive that you'll find something to relate to in them. I am rambling. The only thing I wanted to say, other than you should go read these books, and before I do my taste test, which I was supposed to talk while I ate, but obviously I decided to just talk. Okay, if we wait till the end, I will say some spoilery thoughts on the second book. For now, I'm done talking about books. We are going to try the Pumpkin Spice Cheerios. Just dry, we already talked about the smell. Honestly, this isn't that bad at all. It's very subtle. It's not too sweet. I don't know that it tastes like pumpkin spice though. There's a hint of pumpkin, and I think the aftertaste is mostly cloves. This is actually much better than I expected. I definitely thought that it was going to be absolutely disgusting and very sugary. It tastes okay. It's not bad, it's just not like great. Like I wouldn't go out of my way to buy this again, but if there was no other cereal available and I wanted cereal, I wouldn't mind eating it. It just doesn't really taste like much. Like it's almost, the flavor is very subtle. Like I think plain Cheerios or the Honey Nut Cheerios or the multigrain Cheerios have more flavor than this. And in the end, more than pumpkin flavor, it has more of like a spiced flavor. So it just kind of tastes like cinnamon and cloves. Okay, so there you have it, my thoughts on the Pumpkin Spice Cheerios, as well as why you should read Darius the Great is Not Okay and Darius the Great Deserves Better. If you don't want to hear my few spoilery thoughts on Darius the Great Deserves Better, then you can leave now. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. And then if you want to stay, I'm about to talk about spoilers in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I just want to say that my favorite scene in this book, by far, was the scene after Darius gets kicked in the balls and goes to the change room, and his dick is in pain, and then Chip happens to, I don't remember, I think Chip kicked him, so he follows him into the change room, and then like they accidentally turn around or whatever, and this is the first time that Chip has met Darius's dick, and the tension in the room was so high. I almost, like, as I was reading that, I was like, this is so campy, but like so great. The book didn't ultimately go there, but it was definitely hinting at like that whole trope of like you're hurt and let somebody like nurse you back to health. And so I definitely thought that now that Darius's dick has been broken, like it'll be Chip who has to help him recover from his dick injury. I know that this is a children's novel and so that would never happen, but I just felt like that moment, there was just so much tension there, and it was so well done. I think that there was so much in that scene that could have happened, that didn't happen, and yeah, I will leave that there. I also was so shook, well not shook, but I was like so upset because by the end of it, Chip and Darius are still not together. And I felt like somewhere in the middle of the book, maybe closer to the end, I kind of realized they probably wouldn't get together because you're running out of time. And if anything, Adib does not rush things, which I also appreciate. So I knew like if him and Chip were to get together, we'd have to wait for another book. But as far as I know, for now, there's not going to be a third book. I feel like that in and of itself is also upsetting because I will never know if Chip and Darius get together or not. And they don't have to. Like I totally get that Chip's been a bit of an asshole to Darius, but just like if they're feeling it, and I just really want Darius to be happy, and if Chip is a person or not, you know. And that is that. I'm gonna stop talking. Bye.